at the performance task for Chapter 4. For this assignment, you will need your paper that was given out to you and your calculator, and of course your pencil to fill in some of the answers as we go. After we do this problem together, I will ask you to go do a similar problem on your Think Central to complete and give that a try on your own. It will probably use different numbers, but the same types of steps. I'm not going to lie, this first step is a doozy. We've got a lot to do here. So let's start reading. Malika charges $7.20 per hour for babysitting. She babysits 4 hours each week. She spends $10 per week and puts the rest of her earnings in a savings account. After 12 weeks, Malika's grandparents put a gift of money in her savings account that is equal to 0.25 or 25 hundredths times the amount she has saved from her babysitting earning. How much money does Malika have in her savings account after the gift from her grandparents? And you're asked to show your work. So I've broken them down into some steps here to give you some clues and to help you through the process here. First thing we need to know is how much money did she earn every week? So we did $7.20 times 4. So go ahead and get your calculator out. Write down step 1. Pause the video if you need to. 7.20 times 4. Once you're done with that, you should get $28.80. Then you're going to subtract the $10 that she spends. She does spend some of her money. So with your calculator, and also write down the steps so you know for when you're doing it on your own, $28.80 minus 10. Once you do that in your calculator, you're going to multiply that answer times 12. So you should have gotten $18.80 times 12. That's for the 12 weeks. Once you multiply that by 12, you should have an answer by now. And so once we get that answer, we're going to have to multiply it times 0.25 for her grandparents. That's what her grandparents give her. This step 3 is actually very important to keep track of because we'll need it for the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and type in that answer. So she actually saves $225.60 in 12 weeks. Now we need to figure out how much money her grandparents give her. So we're going to take that answer and multiply it by 0.25. You can use that calculator. Make sure you're putting the decimals in. And once you get that answer, you should have $56.40. Now that's how much her grandparents give her, but she already put in $225.60. So we want to know how much that is all together. What math would we do to show all together? You should realize that you're going to add. So now I have the $225.60 plus the $56.40. And go ahead and add that up in your calculator. So right now she has a grand total of $282 in her account. That is part 1. There is more because we have a part B. Now it says Malika's father also offers to put a gift of money in her savings account. He gives her the amount equal to 0.15 times the amount that Malika saves, not her grandparents and the money that her grandparents and her save together, just Malika. So how much money does Malika have in her savings account after the gift from her grandparents and her father's? So we got to go back up to step 3 to get that $225.60. And then we're going to multiply that by 0.15. Go ahead and use your calculator. And you should see that her dad is going to give her $33 and 84 cents. Now we have to add all of the money together. So we have the $282 that she had before, plus the money that her dad just gave her, which is $33.84. Go ahead and stick that in your calculator and get the total. You should have that the final total that Malika now has is $315.84. So now that she has that money, it must be burning a hole in her pocket, because on the back side of your paper, you're going to see that she's going to buy something. She's going to buy a bike. And she's going to decide between the 3 different bikes that she sees. So Malika decides to use some of her savings to buy a bicycle. She compares the price of 3 brands of bicycles: the Racer Z, the Speed Monster, and the Swifty. The Speed Monster's price is $64.80. The Racer Z is $20 less than 2.5 times the price of the Speed Monster. And then the Swifty is 1.09 times the price of the Racer Z. And they want to know, what are the prices of the Racer Z and the Swifty? So we know the Speed Monster is $64.80. The Racer Z, we have to first do $64.80 times 2.5. So go ahead and do that in your calculator. Once you do that, you should subtract 20. So you should have got $162 minus 20. And then you will find out how much money the Racer Z cost. You should have found out that the Racer Z was $142. And now we're going to use that amount and multiply it by 1 9/100 to find out the price of the Swifty. So in your calculator, 142 times 1.09 to get the final price of the Swifty. So the Swifty is $154.78. We have 142. So she has enough money to buy any of those bikes, but she's got to make a decision on how much she wants to spend. But she also has to realize that when she buys a bike, she's going to have to pay some tax. So when Malika buys a bicycle, she must pay the bicycle's price plus tax. The city sales tax rate is 2/10 times the state sales tax rate. If the state sales tax rate is 8/100, what is the city tax rate? And they want you to really explain how you found your answer here. And first thing you might be thinking, oh my, but look, remember, we find those 2 whole numbers. So I see an 8 times 2. And if we multiply 8 times 2, we should get 16. And then we're going to move that 3 decimal spaces to the, which way do we move that when we're multiplying with decimals? Hopefully you said left. So we're going to find that 3 spaces to the left. So our final answer, so we get that 16, and we move 1, 2, I need one more, 3 spaces to the left. So your city sales tax rate is 0.016 or 16 thousandths. And that is the Chapter 4 performance task. Go ahead and give the other one a try now on your own.